Hey everybody, I'm Oriana Shea with the Oriana Shea Group here in Long Beach, California, and I'm here with Chris Fenoglio with PNC Bank, and we are here to talk to you about the real estate market, give you a quick market update, and talk about what we're seeing going into 2024. Welcome, Chris.
Thanks, Oriana. It's
All
been
right.
about 30 days since the last time we did this.
I know, and a lot's happened.
Yeah, a lot. So we saw interest rates peak, hit 8% at one point. I'm sure you guys saw articles about
It
that.
was ugly. I wore black that whole week. It was bad.
And then literally 2 weeks later, you saw interest rates drop a whole percent. It has been a crazy 2023 year.
It's been bananas. I mean, people ask me what's happening in the market, and literally a roller coaster. And when you look at the graphs, I mean, that says it all. It's just, peaks here and it dips here, and it's hard to keep up with it.
It is. I mean, rates have been like a ping pong ball, right? They're just bouncing around left and right. So this has been that year of just a lot of uncertainty what's going in the market. But now the Feds have had a plan, and the plan has been, we got to cure inflation, right? Once we start seeing inflation go down, we're going to start seeing mortgage rates go down. And last Friday, Jerome Powell, the president, who no one likes, has raised rates from 3% to 8.5%, finally waved his white flag and said, we're no longer going to raise rates, which has been, everyone's like, okay.
That's huge.
Right.
Just that news alone, is huge, because even though we've seen dips here and there throughout the year, they were followed up with their hikes.
Rates went down a quarter, went up a half, went down an eighth, went up a half, right? And so all it kept doing is
take a
this.
step forward and two steps back.
Yes. Yeah.
So now the rates have gone down to
6.75% range right now today. And there's some articles out last Friday that they anticipate 6 rate cuts next year.
Okay, while I know this is good news, everyone, very good news, I'm sighing because it is going to be a feeding frenzy again, I think.
I think you're 100% right.
The inventory has not gone up enough to sustain the activity that those, drops in the rate are going to cause.
Correct.
Right?
Correct. So I think we're going to fast forward and see what we saw last year. What happened January of 2023, interest rates hit 5.875. There was a First Republic Bank, Silicon Valley Bank. There was a lot of trouble with them. And what happened was the Feds came in and said, hey, we're going to basically back these companies. We're going to make sure anyone's deposit's safe. And when we saw an interest rate drop from 7% to 5.875, and that was January 2023 to about April of 2023, how busy was the market?
It was busy. It was unexpected because typically first quarter is our slowdown period.
Correct.
So it was really unexpected. I don't think anybody saw what was coming, and it was really busy. And then when it should have started to speed up, it slowed down.
Yes.
So the 2023 was just all over the board.
Yeah, supply and demand. This is what I always said. The market is supply versus demand. And when we had rates that had a 5 in front of them, yes, 5.875, and only lasted probably like 30, 60 days, it sparked all the buyers to come back in the market. We saw multiple offers on every listing. And then what happened is rates went from 5.875 to 6.5, 6.875, 7, 7.5, 8. What happened when they hit there?
Everybody put the brakes on.
Everyone put the brakes on.
Everyone put the brakes on. So I know what people want to know is when, if you're thinking about moving, you're on the fence, when should you move?
Today, right now. And I'm going to walk you through it, and it's going to be very simple. People that purchased a home 60 days ago, had no competition, didn't have to write multiple offers, were able to get seller credits, and yes, they have a terrible rate over 7%. This morning, I spent time going, okay, if rates hit 6.25, we're going to save you $500. Oh, by the way, you just bought a house 60 days ago. We're going to refinance you as soon as this hits this target rate. And I'm telling them, get ready now. Get all your documentation because it's probably going to happen January, February. And they're like, well, I just moved in. And I go, do you want to save $500? And they're like, yes. I'm like, okay, this is what's going to happen is as soon as that comes down, demand is going to pick up. And the one thing is, we'll go back to when rates hit 8%. and it was like a whole stop in the market. Every buyer, this is what I work with, buyers, stopped. They basically stopped in the market and they were like, I'm just going to wait. And what happened was, yes, inventory is super low, but demand was lower than inventory. Now, inventory is still tight. And in the last 2 weeks, mortgage applications were up 30%, which that's just people getting pre-approved. That's not them actually buying a house yet. I anticipate this rest of December and January to that is going to expand. You're going to see more and more and more people getting pre-approved right now to look to buy next year. And what's going to happen is the limited inventory, and then you're going to have a lot more buyers come right back into the market in January. And once that rate has a 5 in front of it, it is going to go nuts again.
Yeah. So those of you out there that want to buy, and maybe you're thinking, well, I'm just going to wait till the rates drop down even lower. To the point that Chris was just making, you can do that, but you are going to be competing against a lot of other buyers, and you're going to be helping drive the prices back up because it is going to create a competition.
100%.
So while it's counterintuitive, you want to buy now because, to Chris's point, you want to buy while you have less competition, more negotiating power, the prices are still stable, and get in. You know, you date the rate and marry the house. So the rate, you can refinance it 6 months from now. Don't get hung up on where the rates are right now. If you find the right home, make your move now and secure that property. Because if you wait, you're going to be doing what the masses are doing, and you're going to have a lot more competition. And it is going to fuel the prices to go back up. Because even if it motivates more homeowners to sell, I just don't think enough are going to put their home on the market to sustain the supply or the demand.
Here's the thing, it's a math, right? When someone sells a house, they normally go buy another house. So 1 minus 1 equals 0.
Oh, there you go.
Right?
There you go.
So I always tell people, they go, oh, supply and demand. I go,
yeah, it's not a one-to-one.
Yeah, it's just when one person sells a house, there's what would you say the chance of them buying another house? An 80% chance, right? Maybe 90% chance they're going to go buy another house?
If they're not moving out of state.
Right. And so, but even if they do move out of state, it doesn't matter. It's the overall supply of the United States.
Yeah.
It's a supply of the country, not just here locally.
Yeah.
Here locally, we have a problem called the ocean where we can't build. So we're landlocked, right? As in, we're just stuck. There's nowhere to go here. And there's no new construction that we can go build in the middle of Texas, right? They can go build a bunch more homes. So here, we're always stuck with an issue of half our frontage is ocean.
Right. So to wrap up, if you were going to give people a tip, advice, besides buy now, or talk about a loan product that you're really excited about, what would it be?
So loan product excited about right now is I like the 2-1 buy downs. We talked about this previously. Yeah. They're a temporary buy down where, let's say today's rate is 6.5. You could start off with that 4.5% rate, and then the following year 5.5. So if I'm wrong and Oriana's wrong and rates don't drop in the next 12 months, which I know they will, but let's say we're wrong, you can get a 2-1 buy down and you have an interest rate at 4.5% for the first 12 months, second year 5.5. If you can afford the payment, I would do it. Okay, so that's a product I'm super excited about.
Well,
ask me more.
Well, what I want to just tack on to that though is, again, timing. If you want to try to do a 2-1 buy down, it does require the seller to make a concession.
Yes.
The likelihood of you being able to negotiate that in a few months from now is going to be slim to none if the rates drop and what happens.
Yep.
What
you're
we're talking about is
you're not going to get seller credit.
You're not going to get sellers to. Why? They're not.
They're going to have multiple offers.
They're going to have multiple offers. So that's another reason why it does make sense to buy now. The less competition, the more negotiating power you have. So 100%. I just wanted to tack that on because it's all about the timing.
Yeah, and that product didn't exist. Well, it's always been around, but we never did it because couldn't have an opportunity because most sellers were getting top dollars and people were giving them a free month rent and everything else just to get their offer accepted. So we're going to go right back to that. But at this time, there's ability where you can price it in and get the seller gets their price, you get what you need, and you guys, everyone's happy. So that's the loan product. What was the second thing? You said
advice or a tip.
Advice and a tip right now? Well, tips, I got lots of them. Don't co-sign for anyone, ever. Ever do not co-sign. It's a nightmare unless it's your parents co-signing for you. That's fantastic. Second thing is try to not spend any money on Christmas and put it on your credit cards. I have seen so many FICO scores where they come in and they're like, I have a 780 FICO score. We run their credit and they went and put everything on credit cards and they're at their max limit and the FICO score dropped 100 points because they had a $5,000 limit on their credit card and they put all their Christmas presents on it and the FICO score went down. And right now, rates are very high and very sensitive. So the difference between a 680 FICO and a 780 in interest rate is 0.5%.
Wow.
So a lot of times I tell people, come to me, get pre-approved now. We do a soft credit check and we go over their credit and go, what do you need to do to get to the top tier for the lowest rate?
And we have credit repair people on hand that can help if there's old stuff on your credit report that's bringing your scores down. We have resources available that can help you with that as well, right?
100%.
So thank you.
You're welcome.
I want to respect everybody's time because we go long when we get into these conversations. As always, we are here to help. If you're thinking about moving, if you're thinking about buying or selling, I'm Oriana Shea with the Oriana Shea Group, Chris Fenoglio with PNC Bank, and our information will be down below. Please reach out.